Today we're going to be drawing Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. There's the Shaggy model sheet I downloaded and printed out because I can't find mine in my box, the magic box of model sheets. So I'm just copying Shaggy from the model sheet, 3/4 front view. So the model sheet doesn't always show every detail aspect of a character. You have to guess sometimes. Like this is the Shaggy's left side, which is not shown on the model sheet. So I'm guessing when I do his hair. Also, this body that he has is kind of a slouch posture that he does because he is a beatnik. He is based on a character from an old TV show that was a beatnik. Beatniks were the hippies of the 50s, basically. So we find Shaggy with this slouching posture. There's a middle line down for the front of him, and his legs don't actually bend forward like this. That was just an automatic reaction on my part. His legs are actually straight down, which surprised me. I would have thought that they would have designed him so he had like bent legs, but his legs go straight down. And you kind of figure out, well, where are the center lines? Where are the guidelines that we need for this? Here's where his eyes should be, and his nose will come out from that center line. And his eyes on this character are kind of close together. And he has this, what we used to call when we were working on the show, the banana nose. It just sticks straight out. And he's got this typical mouth that a lot of characters had back in the late 60s, early 70s. When you work with tons of TV show characters, you get to feel what the designer was thinking when he did the character designs. Here I've got Shaggy looking down at something, probably a sandwich because he's always so hungry, looking for the next big hoagie probably. I gave him crooked eyebrows like he's puzzled, but he's still hungry. Hungry, puzzled, yeah. And he has a scooped face, goes out a bit, jutting jaw. I don't think I've made his jaw long enough, so let's bring it down a little bit here. And he will have whiskers down at the bottom of his jaw on the front. So we always draw everything that's underneath things that are covering, such as hair and clothing. We always figure out what's underneath this that's holding up this hair, what's holding up this clothing. Here's where you rough in the shape of the hair that's jutting out of his chin. And let's see how big his head should be to carry all this hair that he has up top. So I made his head a little bit higher because he's got this big bowl of hair on top. And it seems to go up about this high, so that head would be enough to support all this hair. And the hair comes down on the sides. And now he's got hair that's in his face. So we can rough in what we think it would look like on the left side. Like I said, the model sheet has the right side, but just to be contrary, let's do the left side. I think the model sheets they gave us the last time I worked on the show, so a few years ago, had the left side drawing. But this model sheet, I believe, is dated from the early 70s. And at the time they felt, well, that's all you need for this. And they would tell us back then, no, that's all you need. You don't need to see the other side. But we soldiered on. Yeah, this model sheet might be from 77. Anyway, his clothing comes up because he's kind of, well, not shaggy, but he's kind of disheveled, I would say. He wears this baggy t-shirt. So I'm indicating where the shoulder line is. And now, just to make it so it actually works, let's rough in where his arms are. And you can start either by putting one line for the center of the arm itself, or you can rough in two lines for the outlines of the arms. Whichever way you do it, you just keep in mind that there is something in the center that denotes where his skeleton is. So let's just bring this arm down. And here we can see it. That would be his wrist right there. And there I just roughed in the bottom of the t-shirt. He's got very long, gangly arms and long hands. Just more caricature. This is what you do when you design animation characters. They are caricatures of real people, usually. Even if they're animals, they're usually a caricature of a person. Working here still on the t-shirt bottom. So I'm using a light blue pencil on this, sky blue, light blue. And it's very light. If you were to put this under a Xerox machine, it probably would not copy. And this is why we use these types of pencils, so that they don't copy under Xerox lights. If you were shooting high-con black and white film, this wouldn't show up. So that's a good reason to use pencils that you can do rough drawings with that don't photograph, so that you can do your animation and test it out. You could put a slightly darker blue or black pencil on top of this, but you've still got your rough. And you can check out your roughs and make sure they work first before you go to the darker blue or black pencil. So here I'm roughing in the last of his hands. And as we wrap up, the next episode will have dark blue pencil going over all of this. And we will see you next time on the next episode, which will be coming up real soon.